Hey there everyone, my name's Andrew. Welcome back to update number 13 on the Enterprise E project. We're gonna get right at it pretty quickly today. I'm in window world right now, redoing all of these windows on the saucer, and I've run into some interesting things about the windows on the saucer that I didn't notice the first time that I did it. So we're gonna take a look at that. Also, I just got in from China some really small nano SMD LEDs. So we're going to take a look at those and see how we can get those incorporated into this model. Let's get right at it. So here's the issue that I'm facing with the windows. I've put some tape on the saucer to show you how the straight line should appear. And actually you can see that the windows at the very top of the tape line up perfectly with the tape in the straight line, but the windows near the edge, not the ones that are drilled out, but the ones that have not yet been drilled up. So the vertical windows above the horizontal ones, right at the bottom of the saucer, you can see that they are just horribly misaligned in the molding. And this whole, specifically this side, what you're seeing is the front of the saucer. Let me just pan back here and give you a little bit of context as to where we are on the saucer here. So there's the bridge and you can see the line swooping to the front. So the windows right at the very front really are not molded very well, and none of the windows between the two small edge pieces of blue tape are molded well at all. They're all misaligned. They are slanted, and I didn't notice this the first time doing the other saucer, but I was really noticing it when I was working on this one. And as you can see, I've got windows over here all cut out, and those are all straight. It's just once you get to the front section here, going around this curve, they are horribly misaligned. So what I'm thinking I'm probably going to need to do is fill in those windows with putty, sand it all down smooth, and then put in straight windows manually, which is going to be a chore, but for it to look right, it is the only way that I can do it. Now, the other thing I'm noticing is that they've really tried to cram in the windows on the front sections, and even just above the bottom row of vertical. So the second line up of vertical windows, those don't really look right. They're crammed in. Also, the next line up, there's supposed to be 4 large windows there. Let me just cut in a picture of the studio model, and you can see that there's supposed to be 4 big windows there. Coming back to the model here, you can see that those simply are not there. So I did attempt to cut those into the previous saucer. They didn't turn out the greatest, but I should be able to mask them off once there is clear material inside, and then tidy that up with paint. So I am again going to put the large windows in there, but I've got to figure out a way of making these windows look right. I mean, these windows that are off center, and let me see if I can just move this here to give you a straight on look. How straight on? Okay, we're pretty good. But if you look, it makes the whole front of the saucer look completely out of alignment, like unsymmetrical. So I think in order to get this looking right, I'm gonna have to fill in all those windows between the 2 small pieces of tape, and going off of reference from the studio model, recreate those windows from scratch. I'm not sure how well that's going to turn out for me, but I don't really see another way of getting it to look right, because now that I've seen it, I cannot unsee it. Getting ready to work on the missing bank of windows. So what I've done is I have used the masking tape to find the edges of the bank of windows that is on the starboard side, and that kind of frames out the area where they're missing on the port side. Now, I've taken a tape copy right here of where the windows should be on the other side. So I'm going to place this at the height of the bottom of the windows. Then what I'm going to do is drill the pilot holes at the bottom of each of the windows. And I'm going to move it up higher in order to do the top hole of those windows. And hopefully that's going to give me a really good kind of drilled in area to put those windows that are missing on this kit. So that's what I'm going to try to do, and I'll show you what results I get from that. I've taken my measurements, the tape is in place, so my next job is drilling those bottom holes. So the pilot holes are in place. Now I'm going to move that tape up to about the right level. What I think I might do is draw on the windows with a Sharpie using a ruler, and then go through and drill out the top sections on the top of the Sharpie marker. So the Sharpie lines aren't exactly the cleanest lines in the world, but they'll definitely be clean when I drill them out and clean them up. So I'm not sure how well you can tell in this shot, but the first two windows on the right side of this section have been roughed in. Now, I mean very much roughed in. Let me see if I can get closer there for you. And they will be cleaned up, but I want to clean them up once I have the rest of the windows drilled in, especially the 3 in a row there, and I can get all the Sharpie off. The light is kind of playing havoc a little bit. Let's see if I can adjust this for you. All right, so there you should be able to see that the 2 are drilled out. The rest are just the Sharpie marks. And that's kind of how it's going. It's actually going a lot better than I expected it to. So quite happy with how this process is working out. It will need quite a bit of refinement on those particular windows. The average window is taking me about up to 5 minutes each. These ones are probably going to take twice as much time, all said and done. So something really interesting just happened. I just went to record an intro for an update video about my Enterprise E project, took the video over to my computer over there, put it into my editing software, and realized that I had basically half an update already filmed that I had never finished, never uploaded. So what you've just seen is that first part of the update. So I'm going to continue showing you the work that I've done on the windows of the Enterprise E project. I finished off those added windows that I was working on, and now we're going to focus on those 4 big windows at the front of the saucer section. I've got them taped off, and I'm going to try to get them marked onto the model so I can drill them off. So I've got masks on them right now. I'm going to kind of mark that off, drill them out. I'm going to try to salvage those masks so that when I put the clear material in, I'll be able to put those masks on top, and they'll be able to live there until the painting of the model is done. I've also got a little toy to show you. I picked this up online. It is a microscope camera. I'm going to show you how this works just a little bit later in the video. This was an impulse buy off of a Facebook advertisement, which are normally either scams, or if you order them, you don't get what you ordered, you get garbage, it never comes, and I was completely willing just to throw my $45 away if this thing didn't work out. But something really strange happened. I got exactly what was advertised, it worked exactly as advertised, and no scams involved at all. So I think I just kind of hit the odds on the Facebook advertisement. So what this is it's a microscope camera, and you can get super close on small details. So when you're working on it, you can see what it looks like highly magnified, so that you can know kind of how you're doing on that fine detail work. So I'm going to show you how that works a little bit later on, but let's get working on the 4 windows. Actually, I'm going to show you the work that I've done on the rest of the windows, and we're going to get working on those 4 big windows at the front and see if we can get those molded, well, cut into the model much better than the first time around. Obviously, this is the second time I'm doing the saucer section on this model. Didn't go together the way that I wanted it to the first time around, and so I bought a fresh kit, and that's why we are doing the windows all over again. But I've got to say, second time around, I'm super happy with the windows. I'm not going to say that they're perfect. I'm not going to say that they're perfect, but
you would be pretty hard pressed to find windows that look a whole lot better than these. I mean, one of the reasons why it's been 5 months since my last update is because I've just been taking so much time on each and every window to try to get them as perfect as I can possibly do it, because I want a product when I'm done with this that I'm super proud of. So I'm willing to take all the time in the world to do it. So let's get looking at the progress I've made on these windows. Here's a great front shot of the saucer, upper saucer section, and you can see the blue tape on the front. These are the 4 large windows that I am adding on. They are only molded 2 small windows on the front, so the 4 windows aren't properly molded in, so they really need to be recreated to match that studio model. If you look at the windows right up at the very front here, these are the ones that are crooked that I need to deal with, but I was looking at this right here, which is the old version, the first attempt at the saucer section, and once they've been cut out, they don't look too bad as far as the alignment. So I'm thinking that when I cut the ones out on this new saucer section, that they shouldn't look too bad at all. Now, looking at, and I'm going to get a little bit closer on these 4 large windows. So you can see that my first attempt, not horrible, but not great. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to do my very best to make these as square, rectangular, clean cut as possible. So I've got the blue tape on there. I'm gonna mark out everything, basically like you were painting with masks, but I'm gonna do that with a Sharpie and try to keep the white plastic underneath the tape. I'm gonna salvage the tape so I can mask off the windows for painting later, and drill the white void space underneath the tape to create those windows. So hopefully they're gonna look a lot better this time around. So yeah, those windows are crooked on the front, but I'm not sure if it's worth the pain to go through and fix those. Tell me what you think down in the comments if I haven't already dealt with them by the time this episode is over. I mean, I don't know how much work I'm gonna get done on this, but yeah, they are looking pretty cool. Let me turn this around and show you the windows I was previously working on. So tell me, can you see where the windows were missing on the original version of the kit? Yes, these windows right here had to be added. Those are the ones I was working on previously in the video, and so this is how they've turned out. Again, they're not perfect. I need to go through with a really sharp number 11 blade and do some fixing up on them, but they are now in place. Another really odd thing on the kit are windows right here. If I get my pointer, I'll get really close. These windows are molded way too close together. And I was really wondering why, on the first time around I did it, that I punctured through I didn't get the divider between. When I went back to look at the new kit, I found that they are just molded way too close together. So I'm gonna have to be really, really careful when I cut those out on my new kit. So what I've done is I have framed out with tape the window masks that I've put into place, and then I've used a regular Sharpie and colored in the area. So in theory, when I remove the tape off of the kit, we should get a good frame of reference for drilling out these windows. Now, the next little bit of tape I need to take off very carefully and store somewhere very safe. These little blue areas here, because I want to salvage those for when I do the masking of the windows so that they're exactly the same size, because I cut them out of standard painter's tape. So I'm going to remove those and put those somewhere safe, and we will see what happens when they're removed. There we go. You can kind of see that they've been framed out, and that should give me a really good point of reference for drilling out these windows. It's going to be some tricky, meticulous work, but hopefully this will allow it to go a lot easier. And I've just put my pieces on my little box of stuff that I have for this kit. So I've got those where I know where they are, and my next job is to drill these up and, well, drill them out and clean them up. Here's a wee bit of progress on these windows. What I've done is I've just drilled a line through the windows, and I've just basically connected the dots like I have with the other windows. I decided to do this initial rough perforation on all of the windows at once, so that when I was getting the number 11 blade into the various slots here, I wasn't pushing up against the area here between the windows and hence breaking the window divider. And so now I'm going to take very sharp number 11 blades and just shave these edges until I get a really nice clean window.
So I wanted to show you my new microscope camera. I thought this is a perfect opportunity to show you while I'm working on the front four windows. So what's happening here is I've cleared out the initial roughing of these windows, and they don't look too bad to the eye, but take a look at what happens when they are magnified. I don't know what the rate of magnification on this is, but yeah, this is showing such a clear magnification of these windows. And what this is going to let me do is I'm not going to work on it with the knife while I've got it magnified like this, but this is going to show me how close I'm getting to the black marks I put on with the Sharpie when I masked it off. It'll never look perfect under this level of magnification. Nothing will ever look perfect under this level of magnification. Nobody is ever meant to see these windows under this level of magnification. But what this is simply doing is it's giving me the tool to see how accurately I am working on this. So yeah, it's really cool. I was really surprised that it's working as well as it is. I can take screen captures off of this. I can load it into OBS as well if I want to record video with it. It's just a USB microscope camera into the computer, and for something I took a chance on online, it's actually turned out to be a really handy tool to save my eyes on modeling. So I wanted to show that to you and let you see what it is that I've got as a brand new toy. I'm going to show you the windows once I've got them finally cleaned up. So I think I've got this nut cracked. First I'm going to show you the ugly, really up close magnified picture of this, which you can see on the screen over here. And under magnification, it looks pretty good. Yeah, I think this technique has worked out pretty well. But next I'm going to show it to you just with the regular camera so you get a better idea. I'll do a little bit further away, a little bit closer up, and you can get an idea what it looks like without the major magnification. Then I'm going to try to wash off the Sharpie and see what it looks like without the black around it. Here we are under reasonable magnification. It looks pretty good. I'm really excited to see what it looks like once I get that black material off it. I'm just going to back it out a little bit and give you a bit of an idea from back here. And you know what? Maybe I should put some white material behind it. Here we go. Here's a better view of it. And doesn't look too bad. I might want to bring that left window up just slightly, but to me, that's looking pretty good. Let's get in a little bit closer. Oh, there we go. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Yeah, that left window definitely needs to be brought up a little bit just to keep it in line, and it's going to be cleaned up even more when I put masks over top of them for painting. But I've got to say, that turned out so much better than the windows did the first time I did them. So that I am pleased with. I do want to see if I can get the black Sharpie off, but you know, I think that this has been successful. And now this is with the black off. I've got to say, I was really nervous about doing this, but they've really turned out quite well. They don't look
necessarily the greatest under super magnification, but under normal visual conditions, they're pretty good, I've got to say. So I'm really happy with the way these have turned out. I'll be able to refine them even more with the painting masks on them. So I think that this has turned out super well. I'm really pleased.
So that's all the progress that I have to show you in this update. I'm really pleased the way those 4 windows have turned out at the front of the saucer section. And once I get them masked during the painting process, they're gonna look even better. I still have some refinement work to do, but they have turned out pretty good. I'm also really happy with the way that the rest of the windows are turning out. I think that the second go around on this saucer section is just gonna make things so much better. They're taking a load of time. I mean, an evening's worth of work is getting me, say, about 40 of those big windows, regular size windows done. But you know, I am perfectly okay taking as much time as I need. This is something that I want to be really proud of by the time that it is done. I don't want to rush through it, and I never want to say, it's just good enough. I want to put the time and effort in that's necessary. So I hope you've enjoyed this update. If you did like it, make sure that you hit the like button. If you're new to this channel or you haven't subscribed yet, you can click the button right here to subscribe today. If you would like to see this series from the beginning, check out the playlist right here. Watch it from the beginning, and maybe you'll have some interesting insights or thoughts or tricks or tips to leave me. Leave those down in the comments down below. But for now, this has been Andrew with my Enterprise E update. Have a great day, everyone.